Doma Sports Talk worldwide with some news from the world of boxing. So y'all know what time it is. You ain't in a rush to get concussed. Now some more residue from the Terrence Bud Crawford Canelo Alvarez showdown, a week ago, right? We still talking about it. It's the biggest fight of the damn year. Why wouldn't we want to talk about it? Now, some of the latest news happened yesterday. Renowned Mexican trainer, by the way, Robert Garcia. He was a champion himself. His little brother, Mikey Garcia, was just ridiculously awesome. Mikey Garcia just retired recently. So the Garcia family is really, really into boxing. Garcia has trained many champions and stuff like that. He even trained Anthony Joshua of late. So Robert Garcia is in there, in it real big. And before the fight, he was on the fence of who could possibly win. I think he was leaning a little bit towards Terrence Crawford, but he just realized that Canelo was just huge, and Canelo could possibly win this fight. But he's a pretty fair guy. And Robert Garcia was asked what he thought about the fight between Canelo and Terrence Crawford. And, he said some things that I'm paraphrasing. I might put the link down in the description box so you guys can check it out. But this interview was really, really interesting because his point was, listen, man, Canelo didn't even try. In those championship rounds, Canelo wasn't really trying, man. He tried to throw an isolated left hook to the body, and he was leaving it at that, and he felt that Canelo should have been trying a little bit more and wasn't letting them hands go and stuff like that to win the damn fight. Now, I felt similar because Canelo being the bigger fighter who really didn't have to really worry about getting hurt, let everybody tell it, then he would just come through and let his hands go to win the fight. But why wouldn't Canelo do that? Right? Why? It's, Terrence Crawford is most of the reason. I was just going to go and give Terrence Crawford 50% of the reason. But what do we say here? You go as far as people let you in life and everything. The new Russian media and the Canelo fans, right, have made him into this, right? Canelo can just walk forward a few times and get credit for it. Canelo has got many, many questionable decisions. So let's just go from his last fight. You walk forward a little bit, William Skull outboxes you. But because he was outboxing and moving, right? Just because he was moving, they were able to call him a runner. He didn't come to fight. He didn't come to engage, right? But they failed to tell you, what did he come to win? Because he won. He hit Canelo more than he hit him. But because Canelo was just walking him down and didn't do anything when he had him cornered, Canelo didn't throw punches. But the fact that he didn't do that, he was able to come after that fight and be considered the winner, and they won't say anything positive about William Skull. He just ran. Not that he was able to stay away from Canelo 12 rounds. That means he was at least fit enough. That's some endurance there. He never got endurance points. If you're going to stay away from Canelo, in that 20 by 20 ring, you were able to stay away from him for 12 rounds and then hit him, bop, 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 and get out of there and never get hit, make a miss to the point where he looks amateuresque. None of that was considered good. So Canelo was in that fight. Canelo heard the narrative about him. Why would he think that he has to do something? Why would it? No one was saying, well, Canelo, damn, cut the ring off, make sure you hit him more than he hit you. Like Gennady Golovkin would have done. You think that Skull versus Gennady Golovkin would have looked like that? Golovkin would have cut the ring down and had handled his business. That's what that would have happened, and would have forced Skull to do something. But Canelo, he would live through what they said about Skull. Like, he didn't do anything, he didn't come to engage, that's it. Right? Canelo got a decision with Lara, which everybody know he lost. Canelo got one referee to give him a draw against Floyd Mayweather, where he lost every round. So if you've been going through your career dealing with things like this, you basically have to show up, throw a few punches, and you're good. and the narrative is going to be Canelo did enough. The other guy should have done something. People don't get on Canelo. That's why that happened. That's why he didn't think. He thought, well, I haven't been knocked out here, haven't been really hurt here. I've came forward 50% of the fight, you know, and I'm Canelo. So the championship rounds, I don't have no sense of urgency here. This is Canelo's camp. What do you mean sense of urgency? They're going to protect me after the fight. That's why that didn't happen, guys. Right, so Robert Garcia is right. There wasn't a sense of urgency. He didn't have to do anything. It looked like he didn't try. But the bottom line is, you've created this monster. Canelo, what do you mean trying? I don't have to do that. That's the other fighters. I don't have to try. What do you mean try? Right? I can walk out here and a fighter that's obviously good, like Demetrius Andrade, just walk out in front of everybody and say, hey, I ain't fighting him because he's a horrible fighter. If Dave Benavidez, he can say, I don't fight Mexicans. I represent Mexico, and that's why. But my next fight's going to be against Jaime Munguia. He can do that in broad daylight. So you've created this, right? So Canelo doesn't try for a living. You understand? So that's why that didn't happen. Now, maybe something might happen. Maybe we can get him to try in future fights, right? Maybe if you fight Terrence Crawford one fight, just so he won't be the A side. So he can just understand what it's like to not be the A side. That would be interesting. That's the only reason I would like to see Terrence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez. So Crawford's name could be first, right? He can walk out last, and Canelo can have a little bit of humble pie. It's necessary. It's not only for him, but for his fans, so they can get back to this being a sport. So yes, Robert Garcia is correct. Canelo didn't try that hard, but the problem with that is he doesn't have to. Doma Sports Talk Worldwide. And I'm up out of here, y'all.